What's up? What's up? How are we doing? How we doing? Chat. One of the first comments I see is Krabs and Jovan. All right. Hot start today. Hot start. Um, Hope everybody had a pretty good weekend. It's kind of an exciting weekend of baseball. So that was pretty fun. But yeah, it's a new week, new bags. How we doing in the chat? How we doing? Victor and Matt picks. What's good? What's good? The Dodgers, yeah. The Dodgers showed why they're the Dodgers. 10 capper collab today. Actually 20. 20. Yeah, Nightbot's sleeping a little bit. Nightbot is a little slumped. He'll be back in a while. So what's up? What's up, my guys? Super excited for all that we got going this week. It should be a pretty good week. First Nightbot L. It's a fact. Very, very rare Nightbot L. Fuck Nightbot and fuck Holly. Of course. Of course. What's up? What's up? Morning, morning, morning. That 20-piece collab you posted before the game start. Yep, they always are. Reminds me of Drury L. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, Nightbot gets a little testy if we're talking about it for real. Hannibal Sanchez masterclass. Yeah, but today I feel like everybody's pretty aware of the very small and very low quality slate that we have. So we'll be talking a little bit about baseball, but we'll also be diving into some football too, which will be exciting today. Diving into some college football and NFL. So that'll be pretty exciting. Krabs should be joining us shortly when wraps up the Bet Stamp podcast, the extra corporate podcast. And yeah, the slate is horrendous. Not just very tough games, but also very limited games. Very, very limited games. That Diamondbacks game, F5. I mean, that game is tough because it's a price that I don't think anybody should really be paying on the Diamondbacks, to be honest with you. But it also is pretty telling in a way of what they expect. So it's a tough one for me personally. How the props looking? Not great today. It's usually not in a super small slate. A lot of lines are super sharp. So I'll be just a couple I have my eye on. I'll be digging into them throughout the day, but yeah, nothing great, nothing fantastic. Cubs Mets 2-legger. Yeah, we'll be seeing. We'll be.
Yo, yo, yo.
What's up?
What's up, my man? How we doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about yourself?
Hold it down up here. What's up, chat? What's up, chat? How we doing? We got squad in here already.
You're probably over 6.5 wins. Great bet. Fantastic.
What are you talking
about? Somebody in chat said they took TCU over 6.5 wins.
Heat. Okay.
Heat.
You hate it, or are you saying eat?
Heat. As in, I love it.
Well, we'll be seeing about that.
I love it.
Let's take Virginia Tech alt win total under 1.5. They might win one game. Gosh, man. Yeah, guys, I'm on vacation, family vacation, but the show goes on, and we need to talk sports. We're going to talk sports, and we got to talk bets. There's a play tonight. I'll be honest, I forced some MLB plays this past week. My MLB plays sucked. There's a play tonight that I absolutely love, and we'll get to it. Stay posted. Jovan, you know what it is. I think we talked about it in that group chat, but God, there's a great trap line that we get to take advantage of tonight. And don't worry, the game's not coming out. We got plenty of time. That's the only hint I'll give you. How we doing, guys? Hope you guys made more money than me recently, because I can't win. I can't hit a bet to save my life. But it's only up from here. Not a good week, but hey, it's Monday. We get to restart. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty. I know I want to talk some football at some points because we're getting close.
We are.
We're getting close. But before we do, there's a couple things we got to go over. Number one, the Yankees, frauds. Their season's over. They're done. They're dead. They're not even going to make the playoffs. They're going to lose every game the rest of the year.
Everyone.
All jokes aside, though, 5 games. 5 games in a row they've lost. They have lost every single game since Joey Gallo has been traded. How about that? Maybe he was the glue guy. You ever think of that? Maybe he was.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree. I mean, I forget who it was. I think it was Coin Snatcher, right? Said that he was kind of the scapegoat, which took a lot of the pressure off a lot of that lineup, that's actually a super fair point.
I told him, I was like, that's the smartest thing you've ever said in your entire life.
Yeah.
Because that shit might be true. Think about it. That Yankees team was absolutely rolling, and there was one guy eating all of the trash from the media, and it was Joey fucking Gallo. That dude was the only one that people were chirping. The guy couldn't even leave his fucking apartment in New York because every time he did, he would get chirped. Ridiculous. He was the scapegoat, and now that he's gone, you're seeing Aaron Hicks, who was starting to hit, literally just went on like an 0 for 30 streak. And I know he got a hit the other day, whatever, but you're seeing guys at the bottom of that lineup. Josh Donaldson still really hasn't done much. IKF hasn't really done much. These guys are starting to be like, wow, am I about to be the next Gallo? Or is the media going to start chirping me? Maybe they're getting a little tense up there at the bat. Maybe that's why the Yankees aren't scoring as many runs. Maybe that's why they're losing. So they went from pretty much having Joey Gallo just absolutely take it on the chin while the rest of the team is absolutely chilling and has their mojo going, to now they're like, holy shit, we don't have that guy anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe that has something to do with it. Baseball is very, very mental. And also, Joey Gallo off to a decent start in LA. Do you think he's going to start every game where it's on a lefty starting?
It depends on what they do with some of those guys. Like, I still don't understand why James Outman is in the minors.
Right.
I really don't. That guy was Barry Bonds for like a week, and he was one of the most consistent hitters in the bottom of that lineup. So, I mean, if they call him up come, late September, October, he has a legitimate chance to be a fixture in that lineup if he's still hitting that well. I don't know what they're going to do with him, to be honest.
Well, maybe, I'm just thinking out loud here, but maybe the fact that Outman's still down the minors is pretty telling that they are going to try to give Gallo a shot, at least against righties.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they probably want to give him a shot for now, and I think that's probably why they sent Outman down, because they still want him to get at bats so they can have that option up come another month or so. So we'll see. We'll see if he can get it together. We
will literally be seeing.
Yeah,
100%. I don't know, chat. You guys think I'm crazy for saying that Gallo might be okay? Let me know. Also, the Dodgers have not lost a game since they've acquired Joey Gallo.
Yeah.
So maybe that dude is just a curse. I don't know. A blessing and a curse. The fucking Dodgers stuffed the Padres in a locker this weekend. How about that? All the Padres talk the last week. I don't think if you would have told me, I would be happy that the Dodgers would sweep the Padres. If you would have told me that a couple months ago, I would say you're literally on crack.
Yep.
I'm kind of happy that they did. Straight up. They kind of sat them down and said, hey, you're still our little brothers. We still kind of own you. Plain and simple. Do you think the Padres are still the Fraudres? Do you think that in prime time, in games that matter, in situations, come playoff time, even though they might have a stacked team now and went out and bought their guys, are we still going to see them fall short continuously? What do you think, bro?
I don't know about continuously, because I don't want to overreact to a week, but
okay.
I think it's definitely very telling the way that they didn't even look even remotely competitive in a lot of the series, most of the series. I guess I would say all of the series wasn't even remotely competitive. So they need to figure something out quick. And I think it's a lot of guys like I've been talking about Drury, but Drury you can't expect him to be the same guy that he was in Cincinnati. Like a couple of pieces, like Juan Soto is Juan Soto, Josh Bell is Josh Bell, but a couple of these supplying pieces are they're going to have to be like really, really important. And I don't think they're there yet. So coming down to the next couple weeks, they can get consistency from that. They can get some consistency from their pen. That'll make a huge difference, but they're not there yet. They could be, but they're not.
Agreed. And shout out Josh Bell for randomly stealing a base on Friday night. Ended up scoring a run there in the ninth and absolutely fucking my 2-unit bet. So thank you. I appreciate it, Josh Bell, for continuously finding ways to disappoint me. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks. One more comment I wanted to make about baseball this past weekend. Yadier Molina is back, and the Cardinals have not lost since he's been back. My guy Landon pointed that out to me too. I thought that was pretty cool, at least worth saying. Yachty is still just unbelievable. I mean, in his first game back, he hosts somebody at second. The bat's not really there as much anymore, but honestly, who gives a shit? The rest of that lineup is pretty fucking consistent. I was talking about it earlier. You can't win a World Series with one player. It's pretty clear. It's kind of why the Nats shipped away Juan, I think. Juan is a 10 out of 10, right? The Cardinals are an interesting team to me, at least offensively, because, I mean, they have Goldschmidt and Arenado, who are, 9 out of 10 players, debatably. But the rest of their team, they're all sixes. They're all above average. They don't have any shit players at that bottom of that lineup, to be honest with you. They're all pretty fucking good. That's the kind of team, in my opinion, that could make some noise down the line because they don't really have, an extremely weak link. Pitching is definitely a concern for sure. The back end of that, starting rotation is definitely a little sketch. Don't get me wrong. But they have debatably the best closer in baseball with Josh Hader. They've got a couple other really good bullpen arms, and they've got a very consistent offense with 2 stars and a couple young guys, but mainly a veteran team. Watch out for the Cardinals going forward. Yachty's back at the helm, holding down that pitching staff. Maybe the pitchers, maybe we'll see more success out of them in the next, couple months with Yachty back catching, because he makes a difference back there. I think you could agree with me on that.
Oh yeah, it makes a huge difference. I mean, we've seen like him and Wainwright have always had a connection, and we see that makes a huge difference year in, year out when one of those guys is out. But for the rest of that pitching staff, is super important too, because I mean, he just helps that rotation gel so well. Calls fantastic games. The guys say it every single game, whether it's Michaelis or even Jordan Montgomery even said something about it, that he loves having Yachty in the clubhouse and catching him because he calls such great games. So I mean, it's such a difference for that pitching staff, and I think down the line, like, that's going to be huge. If they can get some more consistency out of that staff, it's going to be big for them. It's just in that National League, there's so many teams that you could say could easily come out with the talent they have. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see for sure.
100%. I agree. Their back end starters are definitely sketchy. But
yeah, just a bit.
Just a bit. Shout out Ian Anderson on the Braves, by the way, getting sent down to the minors. Eric Fetty's better. He's better, faster, stronger, better pitcher. We're going to have to disagree. I'm going to the grave with this one. I'm going to die on this hill. I don't care if it's wrong. Yeah, I'm not giving up.
You're definitely in a grave with that one.
Hey, did Eric Fetty get sent down to the minors? I don't think so.
It's because on the Nats.
We literally don't have enough players.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Patrick Corbin, even with the contract, is still
don't say the P word.
Yeah.
Did you you brought up the P word? That's like a trigger word for me, bro. Come on.
Dude, it's so genuinely hard to watch that guy.
Oh.
That was brutal. Like, I mean, I thought the Dodgers start was bad. Watching him against the Phillies was brutal.
Straight up.
Feel bad for the guy. I don't usually feel bad for guys making $60 million, but that guy literally cannot do anything right.
Unbelievable. Do you think the Twins, that call last night at home plate, did you see that play?
I did, actually.
What did you think about that? So, guys, a little background real quick. Was it Blue Jays and Twins in extra innings?
Yep.
Yesterday. And they called Whit Merrifield safe at home in the top of the 10th to take the lead. And then they reviewed the call, and they ended up overturning it and saying he was out because Gary Sanchez was in the way at home catching when he was tagging him out, and they ended up calling him out, and it was a huge part of the game. What do you think about that call? I think it was fucking bogus and soft as shit. And if that's the direction we're moving in, how are we ever going to be able to tell what's illegal and what's legal? And catchers are kind of fucked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the call. I especially don't like the fact that it was called safe or called out on the field and then it's
overturned.
Because I think
Ridiculous.
there's nothing insanely definitive about that to overturn it. Like, it would be one thing if they called it on the field and then it kind of stood and they said, you know what, there's nothing definitive to say that he wasn't blocking the base, blocking home plate. That would be one thing, but the fact that they went and overturned it, that's what I think is the more ridiculous part.
And I said that wrong. That's my fault. He was out, and they overturned it for him to be safe. And that's why Baldelli and the Twins were so fucking pissed, because they ended up calling Witt safe. So good luck. Keep me in check, chat. Keep me in check. I'm not perfect.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I don't like that. I don't like going to overturn something like that. I think, for one, the throw's right in the path of the base path. I don't really know where you want him to sit without trying to get the tag down, but
I'm with you, bro.
Yeah. I just don't think it's worth overturning a call like that in such a big scenario, especially.
Crazy call. With something like that, you stick with the call on the field. I mean, give me a break. You're going to change the game over a petty call like that? That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Paul DeJong is back.
So back.
He's back. The dude hit about 100 in the beginning of the season. By the way, if you guys don't know Paul DeJong, you really just don't follow baseball that much, which is fine. But this dude's been in the Cardinals lineup for years. He's a veteran on this team. He's always been, a great offensive player for this team. And the dude couldn't hit the side of a barn to start the year. They sent him down to the minors for 80 games, which is no quick stint, which tells me that when he got sent down, he still did not have that shit figured out. He probably struggled I haven't looked up his stats. He probably struggled in the minors for a little bit. And I can't even imagine his headspace, as an MLB veteran making millions, getting sent to the minors. He was probably thinking, I'm done. This is it. Because we've seen guys drop off and never make it back,
Yeah.
The dude grinded. He made some changes. He kind of said, fuck analytics, which we don't have to go into that stuff. But he was like, you know what? I was getting a little too much into the analytics. I need to just go back and trust my swing. And I think for some guys, that's okay. At the end of the day, whatever works, whatever gives you the results is what you need to do. If you need to dig into the numbers, you get into the numbers. If you need to say fuck analytics, fuck analytics. Paul DeJong said, let me go back to what was working a couple years ago. He did, and now he's here hitting bombs damn near every game.
Yeah.
And he even had a home run robbed this past week too.
He did, yeah.
The dude has been absolutely crushing baseballs. Good for him. Wanted to shout him out. Great story. Feel-good story for MLB. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. It's pretty exciting to see. I mean, a lot of people said, I'm looking at the chat. People are like, he's only 4 for 15 since coming back.
Wait, he has more than one home run.
Nah, yeah, he has 3.
He hit one last night, and he hit one.
He has 3.
He has 3, and he should have had 4.
And he's 6.
One got robbed.
6 for 25.
Yeah, so wherever you're getting your stats on that, I'm sorry, they're using another.
A lot of people are pretty wrong. Like, he's hitting only 157 after his little outbreak. But I mean, if you look at his stats, like, barrel rate's up, K rate's down, hard hit rate's up, everything's up, and this is all with him kind of changing his swing path. So
just using your fucking baseball eyes and watching him take at bats, it's night and day. I was talking to Landon about it, who's a Cardinals fan. I mean, a lot of you guys probably know Landon from just the surgical streams and stuff. The guy it's night and day, his at bats, night and day, and like you said, all those stats and extracurriculars and stuff like that. They're telling him all the XFIP flops. They're all saying that his swings and at bats have been way better. So, gotta love it. Gotta root for that guy.
100%.
Gotta root for that guy.
100%.
Tristan McKenzie cut his hair, and now he's literally DeGrom. Remember when DeGrom cut his hair and just absolutely got cracked out and turned it up a notch?
Yep.
Yeah, that was Tristan McKenzie yesterday, who pitched a fucking gem against the Astros. That dude's awesome.
Dude, when he's on, he looks like one of the best pitchers of all time. Yeah, absolutely unhittable. And it's just, I don't know what switch he flips, but it's ridiculous. Like, his off speed is sharp. His fastball command is some of the best, honestly, in the league when he's on in these couple starts. Like whatever switch he can flip, he's either that or he has zero command. He looks terrible. His off speed hangs, and it's crazy. Like
Hey, he's only 25.
he is.
So that's the kind of guy who I want on my team. That's the kind of guy who, if I'm a Guardians fan, I'm like, fuck yeah. I don't care if every third start he has, he gives up 7 runs. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
He'll figure that out down the line and be more consistent. That's kind of how I feel about Josiah Gray, but Josiah Gray's worse. And that situation's worse, but it's a little bit of the same where like I see him pitch good every other game and I'm like, I know it's in there. Hopefully as time goes on, he'll become more consistent, and I think he will. Same thing with McKenzie, but even more so the case. He was unhittable yesterday. I don't care if Altuve was out. Doesn't matter. He was fucking unhittable.
Yeah. It was ridiculous.
Unhittable. And then the Spencer Strider comment about the Mets being lucky. Did you hear that? Did you hear that postseason interview or the postgame interview?
Yeah, and I mean he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. But you can't say that. You can't say that for 2 reasons. Number one, it makes you sound petty and whiny, right? He's coming off a game where he did not pitch well, got yanked really early. You could say it was because of luck or whatever, but he didn't pitch well yesterday.
No.
Number two, that's going to give some fire to the Mets the next time they play. And the Braves have some catching up to do with 50 games left and 6.5 games out. And do I like the Braves, by the way, at plus 500 to win the NL East? I actually do. I think that's great value. Don't put 10 units on it, but maybe a half you guy. I'll be betting that probably today or tomorrow. The Braves have 7 games left against the Mets this season. They're all in Atlanta. Why would you make it harder on yourself and add more fuel to the fire and give the Mets something to play for with that comment? Because when they play the Braves again, the coach is bringing that up.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know it.
Of course.
Has to. If he doesn't, he's an idiot. Yeah, if he doesn't, he's an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But, I mean, I've been saying this for a month or so now. Once Spencer Strider starts playing actual good offenses, people are going to see that he's really starting to regress, like we're seeing.
Yep.
Especially when he's, limited pitch arsenal guy. He's always going to have the strikeout stuff, but he's not going to be able to do that against, top offenses going down the line, come playoff time. He can't be extended for this long in the season. He's going to get burnt out. All of those things. Strider's coming back.
He's also a fucking reliever who just turned into a starter. Yeah. Like, there's going to be bumps on the road. Like, why were we acting like this guy was DeGrom?
I know. People were excited. People loved him because he struck out, 15 Pirates.
Zillion people.
Yeah. He goes and strikes out 15 of the Pirates and the Orioles.
Unbelievable.
I think he's God. Even the Braves too. I mean, the Braves strike out a shit ton. Even when they're like, oh, he had a ton of strikeouts, but he gave up a shit ton of runs. Yeah, because teams strike out. It doesn't matter.
He's got a cool mustache though.
Yeah, he does. There's no denying that.
Oh man, there's no denying it. He's got a good stash. Okay, and he's got a good strikeout strut.
Top tier stash.
Top tier stash. Good strikeout strut. After he strikes out the side or whatever, he does his little shimmy. He's awesome. But yes, I agree. Danny in chat. I don't think he's ass, but I just don't think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I think he's somewhere in between.
Definitely.
Somewhere in between. Shohei yesterday. Are you concerned at all about him tweaking his knee or whatever? I mean, they left him in the game, so I don't think it's a big deal.
I think if they left him in the game, that's because they're going to treat him with.
They treat him
24/7. So if he's in the game and he's playing, he's fine. So I'm not worried about that.
Agreed, 1,000%. It was weird though. It looked like it was bad, and it happened multiple times in the game. And usually the Angels, they literally treat him like he's made of glass.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of weird. Maybe they thought he was just being a little dramatic, and maybe he was. He can be a little dramatic. Everyone can be a little dramatic sometimes. I love to be dramatic sometimes. And so does Shohei apparently. I guess he was a little bit bored. Maybe he's a little bit flustered and upset with how terrible the fucking Angels are. And he's like, holy shit, get me out of here. Maybe he's faking an injury. You ever think of that? Kareem Hunt, you think they should pay him or no?
Dude, I don't know. It all depends on really what's going on in that camp right now. I have no idea the Browns, the direction they want to take that team. I really don't. It depends on them. I know offensively been going a lot of different angles of like whether they want to have him as a third down back, whether they want to kind of do a tandem feature back, even though obviously Nick Chubb is significantly better. But it doesn't. I have no clue. I have no clue how they want to utilize him. Maybe Corbin.
I'm geeking at Matt, bro. Matt's an Angels fan. Yo, we're gonna start instead of saying Patrick Corbin's giving up runs, we're just gonna say he's giving up Corbin's. Okay. We're just gonna use the word runs and Corbin's interchangeably. Run and Corbin are the same thing because that's all he does is give up runs.
Yep.
First pitcher in Nats history, and I know it's not that long of a history, but first starter in Nats history to have 2 starts in the same season where you don't get out of the first inning. And they happen to be there were 2 out of 3 games. It was a game and then a game in between where he also pitched like shit and then a game. And then that's what happened. So it literally happened within 3 starts. Yeah. Disgusting. He is terrible. He's terrible.
Did you see that? I think I sent it to you. The like stat cast of his start. He went 1 through 9 all the way through the lineup, and he had what? He had a hit by pitch and a walk, and then every ball that was put in play from everybody else was more than 100 off the bat.
Bro, I'm not kidding when I say he's literally a fucking pitching machine.
Oh, I know.
He's literally a pitching machine, dude. And Nat's Twitter, because I'm pretty deep in Nat's Twitter, obviously. They're like, let's put him in the bullpen. It's time. I'm like, the dude can't even get out of the first inning now. What the hell is putting him in the bullpen going to do? It's just going to fucking lose us games and make us even more pissed off. At least when we start, we just know we're chalked from the beginning. Imagine seeing Pat Corbin coming out of the bullpen when the Nats are up by 1 run. I'm turning the fucking game off.
It's got to give him an opener.
They got to give him an opener.
Yeah. Give him an opener. I'm telling you.
Maybe they got to do something, man.
I wouldn't be shocked.
They got to do something, bro. Holy shit.
That's what happened to Ryan Yarbrough. He not that he was nearly as bad, but he would come and get shelled every single game. They put an opener in front of him, and he's Jacob deGrom.
You know what? I have the answer. We put Abbott. You know this Abbott dude who started 2 games for us? We put Abbott out there in the first because he has not given up a run in the first inning in his 2 starts. We're not going to talk about what he did in the second, third, or fourth inning yesterday. I don't even know. I don't even remember. Don't even bring it up. We have Abbott go in the first because he's the best pitcher in baseball in the first inning, and then we bring in Corbin. Let's change it up. Fuck it. What else we got to do?
Yeah, why not?
What else we got to do?
I know.
And by the way, Soto comes home and plays in DC this weekend.
Oh yeah.
So I'll be at the game on Friday. That's gonna be weird as shit.
Super.
That's gonna be super fucking weird. I want to talk about the wild card for a little bit. You want to talk about the wild card?
Sure.
So right now, let's go over the AL first. And if you guys don't know, there's an extra wild card spot this year. 3 teams, 3 wild cards get in. They're just handouts left and right. Yeah. In the AL, we got Toronto, who's up 2 games on your Rays, and the Mariners, who are both tied in the standings there. Although the Rays, I guess, technically are ahead because they're 58 and 50 instead of 59 and 51, whatever. It's the Blue Jays, Rays, and Mariners. And then you got the Guards and the Orioles are 2 back. And then you got the White Sox 3 back. And then you got, this is where it really, really splits, in my opinion. Red Sox are 5 back. I mean, in my opinion, they're dead. I haven't seen any life out of them. I think they're dead. And then the Rangers are 10 back. Talk about a team that's fucking dead. I'm not betting on that shitty-ass team ever again. They stink. They don't care. They lose on purpose. They're literally the worst team I've ever seen. They're a joke. Worse than the White Sox now. But let's take the top half of that realistically. We'll cut it off at the White Sox, okay? So we got Toronto, Tampa, Seattle. They're in right now. Season ends right now. They're in.
Yep.
Guards, Orioles 2 back. White Sox 3 back. How do you think this shakes out? Do you think one of these teams who's right there, do you think they make a push?
It's hard to say. I mean, I think there's so much hinging. Like the Blue Jays, while yes, I think they're right now the best team out of this bunch pretty clearly, but going down the stretch, they play a lot of the AL East, which we've seen. That's where they collapsed last year, and they very well could do it again. So I wouldn't be shocked, but I mean, I think they're definitely by quite a bit the best team out of this bunch, and I could see them making a push. I just don't know if I can trust them going down the line of the season playing this division. But we'll see. I think they need to get some more consistency out of the rotation. They've started to get it somewhat a little lately. So if that shakes out, that would be fantastic for them. It's hard to really project the Rays because, I mean, coming up in a couple weeks, we're probably going to find out how the Rays are going to be down the stretch with Wander coming back, with Margot coming back. Not in a couple weeks, but a little later. Glasnow is actually, they're thinking about letting him pitch this year now.
Holy fuck.
Shocking to me. So if they get him a couple starts late in the season, watch out. But I mean, the Mariners are the team that's, I'd say, most likely to make a push from where they're at.
Okay.
Because they have definitely by far have the most favorable schedule going down the stretch, especially in the next month or so here. After they get past, series with the Yankees again, they go Rangers, Angels, A's, Nats, Guardians, Tigers. Like, that's real push material, I'd say there. But as far as these other teams that are out right now, I just can't really see it happening, to be honest with you. I don't believe in the Guardians offense. I don't believe that we're going to see enough consistency from their starting rotation. As that, Tristan McKenzie, if he wants to be an ace every single start, fantastic.
Sure.
But even with that, I don't see that happening with the rest of their rotation. So I can't trust them, especially when they're not going to put up runs.
Yep.
And then the Orioles are a super fun team to watch, but they're going out with Jordan Lyles in crucial games down the playoff stretch. So,
hey, Jordan Lyles is going to go out there and get that team a damn win today.
Yeah. I mean, they very well could. Honestly, the only team that I could see, and I know it's super ugly, but I've been saying it, I think the White Sox are going to make a serious push.
I was waiting for you to say it.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they'll make a serious push for that third spot and for the AL Central crown, honestly. And I know they're kind of the most up and down team in the history of baseball, but I don't know. I think their lineup's going to start to get going here now that they're finally healthy. I think we start to see a little more consistency out of some of their rotation guys, like the Giolitos, who hasn't been particularly good. But I mean, their schedule's not difficult by any stretch of the imagination either. Coming down the stretch, they have a lot of series against the Royals, a lot against the A's, Tigers. I mean,
so I'm looking at I have the MLB remaining strength of schedule pulled up, by the way. Yeah. Here's some things we gotta note. So number one, Seattle has the easiest remaining strength of schedule.
Yep.
The easiest. That's huge. But the White Sox are right there, man. They got the 26th hardest schedule. So they have the 5th easiest schedule for the rest of the season. Okay.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit matters.
It does.
Especially if you're playing against shitty teams who've kind of given up and are already looking forward to next season. Playing shitty teams at the end of the season is very underrated. And I know that sounds stupid to say, but think about it. If you play shitty teams in the beginning of the year, you're still getting the effort level. You don't want to play the shitty teams early. You want to play the shitty teams late. So that's huge. If you had to pick the 3 wildcard teams, who would you go with from the AL?
I mean, just right now, I would say it's going to be like it is, but that's also projecting a lot of these like teams getting healthy again, like the Rays or like the Jays, staying healthy and being decent against their, the rest of their division. I just think there's a pretty significant gap between those 3 and the rest of the wild card race, to be honest with you.
I agree, dude. And the Orioles have a really hard schedule. They have the 6th hardest schedule for the rest of the season. They got to play the fucking Yankees. They got to play the Astros 7 times. They got to play the Blue Jays 15 times.
Yep.
15 times. Which, if you think about it, Jovan, if the Orioles and the fucking Blue Jays have to play each other that many times, I mean, that's actually absurd. That's got to be the most times a team has to play a remaining team by far, because there's only 50 games left. Holy shit. That means that those 2 guys, the Blue Jays and the Orioles, could kind of beat up on each other and fuck each other over, or at least fuck over, the other opponent, right? Because if Toronto ends up dominating those 15 games, which they probably should, that'll knock the Orioles out. But if the Orioles continue to have their crazy magical season, what if they put a dent in Toronto, knock them out, and then they could slide in? Because honestly, the Orioles have a really hard schedule for the rest of the year, but if they're playing Toronto 15 times, it's in their hands. Like the ball is in their court. If they want to go out there and steal 10 or 15 from Toronto and knock them out of the wild card and take over for them, go ahead, Baltimore. Show some fucking heart and get it done. I think everyone in MLB will root for you. That's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
I think this is the biggest week they've had in some time this week, honestly, because they play.
Well, they play tonight. It starts.
They got 3 against the Orioles or 3 against the Jays, and they have like a random standalone game against the Red Sox, and then they have 3 against the Rays, and then they're back again for another 3.
Sure.
This is a huge week, huge week for you. And honestly, I do not like their chances in either of these Blue Jay series with who they've got going.
Yeah, I'm with you. Gosh, what do you have? The MLB schedules memorized in your brain?
I mean, I'm looking at it.
What do you got? An encyclopedia memorized? Holy shit!
Yeah, I got to print it out in my head.
Yeah, Ollie, I'm with you, bro. I don't know if the Red Sox are going to win a game this week. It's tough. Okay, if I had to pick 3 teams, I'd probably go with these 3 teams as well. Boring, square, I know, don't give a shit. The Guards I'm out on. The Orioles I'm out on. I think Toronto will win. I think Baltimore wins today, but I think Toronto will win more than half of those games out of those 15. Sorry, I just do. With how Barrios and Gosman have been getting better. Kikuchi has looked a little bit better since he's come back from the IL. I just think it's night and day. And the lineups, it's just night and day. The teams are just night and day. But the Orioles have that chemistry and the magic, and Toronto really doesn't. They just have the good players. So we'll kind of see. This is a really cool – it's like 2 complete opposite ends of the spectrum, right? It's the talent team versus the team. So we'll see how it plays out. And I'm kind of out on Chicago, my man. They just they go through ups and downs, and I just don't think they could do it. I don't know. If Lance Lynn's pitching like shit and Giolito's pitching like shit and Michael Kopech's pitching like shit, we'll be seeing.
Yeah, honestly, my biggest point of optimism for it is that I'm also out on the Twins, and they're not very far behind in that division. Like, they might not even have to contend for a wild card spot because they're, I think, 2 games back.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't. What are they? Yeah, 2 games back. I'm not a fan of the Twins either. I think their lineup is super inconsistent too. Luis Arias has been really, really struggling.
I know. He did have a big hit last night, but yes, I agree.
Yeah, he's been really struggling over the past month or so. Buxton's Buxton. He's always been inconsistent. Correa's even started to drop off in terms of production a little bit. And I'm really out on their rotation too, outside of Tyler Mahle.
They're coming back down to earth, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's that little fun start they had at the beginning of the year with all the random McGee's. It's starting to hit home. The Joe Ryan fastball he taught the team, it's not getting it done anymore.
Yeah, it ain't working.
It's not getting it done. And I agree with you. I still like these 3 guys who are in. I still like Blue Jays, Rays, and Mariners, even if the Guards pass the Twins.
Yeah.
The next thought would be, okay, well, then the Twins will slide in for the wild card. But I think either the Twins or the Guards, one team will win the division, get hot at the end of the year, and the other one is going to completely fall off, in my opinion. Or it could be both, and they just both completely fall off. And
I think it'll be between one of those 3 central teams. Obviously, one of them's going to win. And I think the other one is going to be right there in the wild card race, whether they get in or not. But they'll be in that race for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, we're gonna go square there. Then that stinks. We're gonna go with Toronto, Tampa, and Seattle. I mean, I don't think your body would let you say Tampa's not making it, which I think they will too.
I would very well say if they can make it. It's just I can't say a reason for them not to make it now, knowing that we have all the offensive pieces coming back in the next week or so, and it very well could be a completely different look that you're going to get from the Rays. So we'll see on that. I do like the direction our pitching staff is going, though. That's huge.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, getting a lot more consistency from Kluber, from Rasmussen, from Springs too. Shane's obviously fallen off a little bit, like I kind of thought was going to happen. But if those guys are picking up the slack, then that's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting some good old-fashioned Rays winning, low-scoring, boring baseball. That's how you win.
Yeah,
that's how it's done. Whatever works, whatever gets a W in the column at the end of the game. You guys will find ways to win. You know.
Yep.
Let's go to the NL. Which is, I think, a little more exciting. We got the Braves up 3.5 games. They're first in the wild card, and then we got the Phillies right on their tail, a half game up on the Padres, who were looking a little bit better a couple days ago. But they're still right there. So we got the Braves, Phillies, and Pods in there. And then we got the Brewers, who just lost a series to the Reds. Goodness gracious. They're a game and a half behind the Pods. And then we got the Giants at 6.5 games out. I don't even know if they're worth our time talking about. And then it just gets into the absolute crust, the shittiest teams ever. Somehow the Marlins are the third team out of the wild card. I mean, the drop off. I will say the depth of the AL is significantly better. Like the teams at the bottom of the AL are significantly better than the teams in the NL. But I think the NL has the best team overall in the Dodgers. Not a hot take.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, give me a break. Like you're telling me the Marlins are the third team out of the wild card, sitting 10.5 games back. I mean, and they're 10 games under 500. What a joke, NL.
Yeah.
What a joke. I'll go first for this one. I'm going to stick with my take. I think the Braves end up overtaking the Mets. Plain and simple. So the Mets, like if we're talking stocks, the Mets are like at the very peak, in my opinion, right now, right? Scherzer looks great. DeGrom has looked impeccable in his 2 starts back. And they've won 9 out of their last 10 games. They're getting lucky, and luck comes with skill, right? The better you are, the better chance luck comes your way, in my opinion. They're winning baseball games, plain and simple. But I think some of the role players who have been very good this year, I think very easily, with the pressure coming on at the end of the season, the Mets will Met. I could see them fold. I could see, some of their guys at the bottom of that lineup start to not produce as much. Pete's still going to produce, but Lindor has had a great offensive season. He could cool off. Vogelback's a dog. I'm not going to trash him one bit. Fucking love that guy. But I think this is the highest we see the Mets, in my opinion. The Braves just lost a series to them. They lost 3 in a row to them. The Braves, in my opinion, are going to do what they did last year, and that's end the season here on fire. I really do think so. They got their guys locked under contract now. They're ready to roll, and they've been here before. So I think the Braves, I'm going to bet it myself. I'm going to take them plus 500-ish to win the NL East. I think the Mets end up first in the wild card. The way the Phillies have been playing, they're playing with serious heart. Hate to say it, but they are. They're winning games, and they don't even have Harper back yet. So give me the Phils to stick in there as well. And then I'm going to keep the Padres in there too. And that's a fucking stacked-ass NL wild card. Absolutely stacked. Night and day compared to the AL, in my opinion. No offense with the Rays, but it is what it is. I think any of those 3 teams would beat the Rays in a series, in my opinion, but that wouldn't even happen.
Yeah,
I am not a Brewers guy. I've never been a Brewers guy from day one, from before the season this year. I said the Brewers have good pitchers. I do not like their lineup one bit. I don't. And I think they will continue to be frauds. Like they just lost to the Reds in a series. Give me a fucking break. We got 50 games left, Brewers. Lock in. Figure it out. I'm not high on the Brewers. I'm not high on the Giants. I know you think you actually called the Giants shit way early. You said this team is fraudulent when they were even playing well. So that's where I'm at with this. I hate to go square again, but I think I do kind of have a hot take with the Braves there winning the NL East and then having the Mets win a wild card. I don't think you're going to be hearing that from many other people, but I do think it's coming, and I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to bet it at plus 500 or plus 600, wherever I can get the best odds. That bet will be locked in probably this afternoon.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think because after Strider said that, I kind of looked into it myself, and it's night and day with how many. I know I looked at it from yesterday specifically too, like the amount of blooper 60-mile-an-hour hits off the bat they've gotten over the past, not just yesterday's game, but the past month. So like far and beyond more than any other team. So I mean, that's going to come back down to earth eventually. So I mean, I don't disagree with that take. I haven't looked at the Braves schedule, but that would probably be something to note. But yeah, I think the Padres, regardless of how the Braves and the Mets do, I think the Padres are going to make a serious push for that number 1 wild card spot in the next month or so. I think somebody said it in the chat too, their schedule. If we want to talk about a cakewalk schedule, that's what they've got coming up quite a bit. I mean, they got Giants, Nats, Marlins, Nats again, Guardians, Royals, Giants again. Like that gives them the biggest opportunity to gel out of any team, especially with how bad they've looked. I mean, 2 series against the Nationals doesn't hurt, obviously, but I think they'll really start to make a run here, as much as I hate to say it. But yeah, I do kind of have to be square in the same thing. I think it stays where it is. I'm not a big
Okay.
Phillies guy either, but I think like their schedule is much easier, and I trust them to manufacture runs a lot more than the Brewers do. The Brewers can't physically score without a tank. They can't do it. Even against shitty teams, even against the Pirates, they struggle to score without hitting home runs.
If you could combine the Phillies and the Brewers, they would be the greatest team of all time. Just stacked offense versus just good rotation, great pitching. I mean, we've known the Brewers develop their pitchers incredibly, over the past couple of years. So
Yeah,
I don't see. Could the Brewers sneak in and take that spot from the Phillies and the Phillies melt? For sure. That's probably the most probable. That's probably the most probable team that's not in the wild card to end up in the wild card. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think that offense stinks.
it does.
I think
Yeah,
they're frauds.
I just can't. I can't trust that lineup, and especially with a couple of these pitchers in that lineup. Like if we were talking about the Brewers' rotation from the start of the year, when Lauer was lights out, when Ashby was kind of the I don't want to say iffy guy, but he was a solid rotation piece for a while when they brought him to start for the first time. He was okay, great strikeout stuff. He would go with some runs here and there, but now he's just bad. If we had the rotation from the start of the year with a good Lauer, a good Ashby, now we're getting a healthy Freddie Peralta, which how he's going to perform, I don't know, but I just can't. I can't trust the rotation either, and that's the Brewers' strength typically. So I mean, I just don't think there's anywhere to go with that team right now. I really don't. And like I said, I'm not the biggest Phillies supporter either, but I just feel like they're a little less likely to collapse than the Brewers.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. So that's what we got. We're keeping the wild cards pretty similar, except I'm flipping in the Braves for the I'm flipping in the Mets for the Braves in the wild card. I think the Braves pull off a crazy end of the season here, and I'll tell you right now, if it gets close and it's a 2 or 3 game difference with 10, 15 games left, I want the Braves. I want the team that's been there before, literally last year, and I don't want the Mets because they're the Mets still, and I still think they're a little cursed. We've seen some crazy shit. We've seen them pull out crazy ways to find ways to lose. And I don't. It's until I see something different, I'm gonna follow the trend and continue to go with that. In my opinion,
it's fair.
Yeah. You want to talk about some college football a little bit?
I would love to talk about some college football. They're talking about it. Talking about it, and I texted you, and I was like, "Damn, it's really getting close. I love it."
We're getting really close. We've got a shitty MLB card today. We could touch on the games a little bit, before we close up shop. But let's talk about some college football a little bit, guys. Let's talk about some of the games we're really excited about week 1. There's some really fucking good football games week 1. I'll get it started with debatably, the best one. And that's West Virginia versus Pitt. I know you're geeking because it's not SEC teams, but
nah, dude, I love the backyard brawl.
Game day is going to be there, September 1st. That game is going to be fucking electric, dude.
Yeah.
I wish it was in West Virginia, to be honest with you. And I don't know what the spread is. Do you have that pulled up in front of you?
I can find it real quick.
I got it. Because Pitt's ranked. They're ranked 13.
Are they really?
Is that true, or is that from last year? Hold on. That's got to be from last year. I'm tripping.
I don't think they haven't released the AP poll, right?
Yeah, I don't think they have either, because we would have seen that. I'm tripping. That's from last year when they had Kenny Pickett, dude. I'm bugging. God, they're giving they're giving West Virginia 6.5 points.
Yeah.
I know they're on the road, but that's a lot of fucking points, man.
It is.
That's a lot of fucking points. Although Pitt's coming off their best season, debatably, ever. They were incredible last year. Absolutely incredible. But that's an unbelievable game. It's going to be absolutely electric in Pittsburgh for that one. Night game, Thursday night. Thursday night game, ladies and gents. That's college football doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
Thursday night football. This is not NFL. We're talking college. We're talking electricity. Give me an overtime game somewhere around here. I would fucking love it. If I don't get an OT game with good matchup, good teams week one, I'm going to be fucking really upset. I'm going to be
Yeah.
really bummed because college football OT is absolutely electric.
It is. It's awesome.
It's so sick. So that's the game I'm debatably looking forward to the most, just because I think it's going to be one of those classic shootout, a lot of points. Could go into OT. Honestly, if there's a game that's going to go to OT, it could be this one. And I'll definitely be looking at West Virginia with the points on the road here coming in. If it was reversed, if West Virginia was home and Pitt was on the road, I don't know if I'd be playing, and Pitt was an underdog, I don't know if I'd be playing Pitt because I know how fucking electric Morgantown gets for football, especially for this game. Pitt is a little more low-key, but it's still going to be absolutely bonkers. I mean, that's a Thursday night game. Everyone's going to be there hammered, yelling. It's going to be dope. There's going to be points, too. We're seeing points there. We're not going to see a lick of defense, in my opinion.
Dude, if you want to
not
talk
going to see a
about,
lick.
like they're talking about, two fantastic quarterbacks that are in new environments, that's going to be such a fantastic game. It's going to be JT Daniels versus Keaton Slovis, most likely. That's going to be absolutely awesome. But yeah, this is.
Do you like JT Daniels this season?
I do. I think he fits really well in the flow of that offense. I think it's going to be a pretty beneficial environment for him. I think a lot of it's going to hinge on what they do with that running game because they have been looking more towards like a air raid little inside zone type offense. That's what I've been seeing coming out of their camp recently, but that would probably work really well with JT Daniels, honestly. But if they stick with kind of the outside game like they've done traditionally, I don't know how well it's going to gel. But, I mean, they have fantastic QB development in Morgantown. So I think that's going to be
They've always got good QBs, man.
Yeah.
Always got good QBs. What's a game that sticks out to you?
So somebody just said it. At first, I think it's going to be week one is going to be Pac-12 Judgment Day. Because I think everybody's super high on Utah, rightfully so. And they think they're pretty much just going to roll over the rest of the conference, right? But that Florida-Utah game in the Swamp is going to be absolutely electric. That's going to be a fantastic game.
Utah is a favorite in the Swamp. That is something you don't fucking see every day. You don't see teams like Utah a favorite at an SEC team. I don't care if Florida's not supposed to be great this year. That's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah, I mean, they're returning pretty much everybody from that team last year, so I'm really excited to see how it goes. But, I mean, they're a team that it's pretty surprising to see them favored by the Swamp or in the Swamp, especially by a field goal. I was a little surprised to see that, but, man, that game's going to be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for that game. And on the flip side here, I mean, we have another big Pac-12 game with Oregon, Georgia. Now, do I expect Oregon to come out and win this game? Absolutely not. But I think the way they play in that game is going to be pretty telling of how the Pac-12 is going to go. Because, like I said, everybody's pretty much just handing the trophy over to Utah. And I think Oregon is sneakily going to be very competitive. And I think we probably do end up seeing a rematch. Not that that's the hottest take, but we probably end up seeing a rematch of that Pac-12 championship between those two.
Which I'm totally fine with.
Absolutely.
Oregon's got a new QB out there.
They do.
Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's so sick. Yeah, give me Oregon first half spread for $1 bazillion. Give me Oregon first half spread, $1 bazillion. Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, somebody in chat said, why is Old Dominion only plus 8.5 against VT? Dude, they literally beat us a couple years ago. Like, we stink. Yeah. We're a joke. We're a joke. Kirk Herbstreit tweeted out the other day, was like, gosh, man, college football is so much better when Lane Stadium is rocking and the Hokies are good. Don't get me wrong, Lane Stadium, whether we're shitty or good, that place rocks every fucking game. Because they don't have an NFL team around there in Roanoke and people fucking travel and pretend like they're an NFL team. It's like some Texas type shit, literally, but in Blacksburg for some reason. That place rocks either way, but I do agree college football is better when you're getting, a night game in Lane Stadium when a ranked team comes into play and it's loud as shit and Enter Sandman goes on. Enter Sandman, debatably the best intro in all of college football. I think it's better than Clemson. I'm biased as shit, so I don't really want to give a take on that. We'll have to do like a best intro in football, little mini segment before the season starts, but that shit's absolutely electric. Our new coach, Brent Pry, defensive guy, wears jeans, blue collar. I'm high on him, but not high on the team this year. We're going to stink. That's why we're plus 8.5 against ODU. All right.
Yeah.
Cincy, Arkansas.
That's going to be a sneaky great game.
Now, who's playing QB for Cincy this year?
It's a great question. It's a fantastic question. I don't know that off the top of my head.
I'm looking. Talk about that game a little bit.
Yeah, somebody also commented the Notre Dame Ohio State game. That's going to be a blowout.
So many good games.
Sorry, that's going to be absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. I don't think Notre Dame.
You think so?
I don't think they stand a chance to be competitive in that game. Not at all.
Shit.
Not at all.
Ben Bryant is starting for Cincinnati.
Interesting.
This season. So, redshirt senior, transfer from Eastern Michigan. He's at least slated to be their. He's number one on their depth chart.
Okay.
As of right now.
Ohio State's favored by 17 now. Is that true?
Bro, there's so many crazy fucking lines in this shit. Wait, you're talking about Notre Dame now? I wanted to when they get in on that action. Yeah, Ohio State might win that game by a bazillion.
Yeah, they're going.
And I mean, you and me both have some love for Notre Dame, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about it. It's more, honestly, you probably more. But Ohio State laying 14.5 against Notre Dame. Everyone and their mother is going to be betting Notre Dame plus 14.5, thinking it's Notre Dame. Well, I think it's pretty telling that they're 14.5 underdog. When's the last time we've seen Notre Dame at getting 14.5 points? I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think I've seen that one time.
Yeah.
You guys have heard me talk about the Yankee tax or the Dodgers tax. There's a Notre Dame tax in college football. They're the fucking Yankees of college football, unfortunately. So them getting 14.5 points. What the fuck? That's insane. Some people in chat are saying they're seeing 17.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I'm seeing 15.5 on FanDuel now.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I think Ohio State blows through them and wins by 3 touchdowns. I think it's.
So I'll probably be on Ohio State that game. Yeah, straight up.
It's going to be a pretty embarrassing showing, I think. I don't think they won't be putting it together by that time. Yeah. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm with you. What other games are really cool? They're up here. Let's see.
Got a couple.
Those are probably the big ones. Houston and UTSA play week 1. I mean, UTSA ended the season ranked, which is ridiculous, and they went on a crazy win streak. I don't think that game is really worth our time, but at least worth mentioning.
UTSA was a sneaky, really fun team to watch last year. They were pretty good.
Yeah, 100%.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
One that I was kind of looking at that I thought, like, I mean, it's the name brand game between two not as good teams, but I'm really interested to see how that Florida State LSU game shakes out. I want to see if we get any signs of improvement from those two teams, or if they're just going to be absolutely abysmal another year. I think that'll be a super cool game to watch. Plus, I think it's the Sunday night game, so that'll be super fun. That's going to be a huge game. I love that.
You don't want to talk about TCU Colorado? I think that's going to be a pretty darn good game.
It is. It's going to be a super fun game. I don't want to talk about it because, I mean, everybody's just going to assume that I'm super biased on it, but that's going to be
What's the spread? What's the spread in that one? Do you know?
I think I've seen it. Yeah, 10. TCU minus 10.
Oof, on the road?
Yeah, on the road.
Oh, no.
I think I love these games, these non-conference early games against, like, featuring teams that don't play each other very often. So I love that game, not just because it's TCU, but games like that are super, super fun, especially between, like, the not so elite teams, like kind of the slightly above average ones like that. Like I don't know, I guess traditionally like a Cincy Arkansas, except Cincy's been really good. I don't know. I love those games. I think that TCU game is going to be really fun.
Okay.
Plus TCU is fully transitioning to the air raid offense with Sonny Dykes now. So that's going to be a first look at that one. That's going to be really, really, really fun to see.
Well, if they can pull it off, I don't know if Colorado has the guys to slow them down, to be honest with you. I don't think they're going to be very good this year.
Yeah, not really. Not really. Honestly, that total climbing up, that total's climbed up a really good bit, and that is giving me some solid hope.
Yeah, the total going up in there definitely makes me like TCU more. 100
yeah, I think it opened at 48, 49 It's up to 55. It's a significant jump.
Holy shit. Yeah, my guy Kev said Nebraska's minus 12.5 against Northwestern. Yeah, give me Northwestern and now. I'll be probably playing Northwestern on the points for sure and hold my breath. I'm with you on that, bro.
You want to know what random win total future I've had a ticket sitting on for like a month now?
Sure. You a little sneak ticket you didn't tell me about? What is it?
Little sneak ticket. I have it on Marshall's over wins. It was like Marshall. Yes.
Dude.
I have it at 7, but I think it's 7.5 now. I still honestly don't care. It's moving pretty fast, the juice is, but I mean, I can give a little quick spiel on it.
Please.
Like, I mean, they moved. First of all, they're moving. They're in the Sun Belt now. They moved from the Conference USA, where I think it's a lot better of a matchup for them. I mean, they have Henry Colombian at their quarterback now, who just transferred in from Texas Tech, who I'm pretty familiar with his game. Then they have Rasheen Ali, who's sneakily one of the best. He's their starting running back, one of the sneaky best playmakers in the group of 5. I love him. But I mean, their schedule is pretty favorable for them. They have 2 FCS games to begin with. And then they play like a lot of the top teams in the Sun Belt, like the Coastal Carolina, like the Lafayettes. A lot of those games are back-ended in the season, and a lot of them are at home. So I think that their offense is pretty bad matchups for a lot of these teams. So, I mean, that's why I took it. I think they get to 7. They get to over 7.5 wins pretty easy. I think they honestly have a pretty good shot to win that conference.
Okay, well, I'm just going to take that blindly. I mean, if you're taking that weird of a bet, I'm just going to blindly take it.
Yeah.
But Marshall, hey, they've had a respectable football team for a minute. We played them a lot. They're not too far away from BT, so we've been playing them a while, and they play us competitive. We're actually probably going to start a fucking transfer, Grant Wells, from Marshall, which is a geek.
That's funny.
This season. So they've got some guys. This is not, I mean, a lot of people hear Marshall and they're like, give me a fucking break. But this team's been decent for a little while. They got a good coach. So they've been there forever. Literally forever. Kitch, we're going to talk about MLB in a sec. But we just wanted to talk about some football a little bit because it's coming. A weird game I wanted to at least mention. Army, Coastal Carolina, 2 of like the weirdest offenses going against each other. That's going to be the weirdest fucking game of all time.
Super weird.
We're going to get the triple option versus some crazy fucking spread offense. It's going to be the weirdest fucking game of all time.
Yeah. Super
It's going to be weird as shit. They run like a weird, like modern version of
it's like a
triple option at points too. It's weird. The weirdest. It's like they're the only team that runs it. So that's going to be a very interesting game. Give me the enda in that one. The clock's going to be running the whole time. Give me the enda.
That's true.
Injected in my veins. All right, let's talk some baseball for 20 minutes. We have to.
Yeah.
We have to because we got some games today. There's actually some games that I like today, and I owe you guys some winners because my MLB bets were poo-poo this week, and I'm sorry. Didn't love them, forced them, stupid. This week, going to be more picky, could have more winners. All right. Let's start in Baltimore. Give me the O's tonight. Jordan Lyles pitching at home. Kikuchi's a fraud. I don't care if he's looked better after his injury. I want Jordan Lyles, and I want that Baltimore Magic at home. I like the way the money's moving. It's moving towards Baltimore, though it's kind of stopped moving now. But give me the O's at home to keep rolling, even without Mancini. I don't care. I think the line here is pretty telling. We're getting the Orioles as a pretty short dog against debatably the best team since the All-Star break in Toronto. So at least the best team since they fired their coach. And you're getting them at a pretty short favorite here, significantly better team. And people think Jordan Lyles stinks. And, they might not be wrong, but I think there's some weird magic going on with Jordan Lyles as well, at least when he pitches in Baltimore. So give me him and give me the O's at home. Money line.
Yeah, I mean, I'd kind of lean the same way. This is a super tough game to cap, to be honest with you. I think it's kind of just trying to struggle between the balance of trying to find if the Orioles are really the public dog or whatever. But
yeah,
I don't really know. I think I lean them because I think, honestly, if you were just looking at the teams, looking at talent, looking at how they performed, I feel like this game would be closer to even with even teams if it wasn't the Blue Jays.
Right.
But yeah, I'd take the Orioles here. I'm not gonna bet it, but I think there's solid value on them today. I'm really out on Kikuchi against this lineup, to be honest with you. Even so, he's going to be pretty limited, so it's going to be a lot of work on that bullpen, which is kind of newly revamped. But
Still bad.
I need to see more from them, yeah, to really trust
I'm
them
with
in
you.
this situation. But yeah,
Agreed.
I definitely lean the Orioles here.
Agreed. Matt had a good point in chat. He thinks the Orioles might be the square play at home as a home dog. I mean, we know how dominant they have been at home this year, and they are getting more of the money. But the bets are split about 50-50, and the Orioles do have more of the handle. But I just think there's some weird shit going on in Baltimore, man, and I kind of want to be a part of it tonight. And I think Jordan Lyles at home is okay to back, and I want to take him. Let's go to Cincy, and let's go to Cincy Mets. I guess it's actually technically in New York. We got the Mets. They're going to be pretty confident, pretty cocky after ripping off 3 games there against the Braves. And they're going to be getting a shitty Mets or shitty Reds team coming into town with a guy making his first appearance of the year. I think this is a huge letdown spot for the Mets, and I really like the Reds. And me and Ben were talking earlier. I really like the Reds early in this one. He had a great point. He said, take the bullpens out of this. The Mets have a good bullpen. The Reds have one of the worst. Why even worry about that shit and have your night ruined when they end up blowing it late? Just take the Reds first 5 plus 1.5 at plus money, which I need to double check and make sure it's still available. I want that. Give me that. It's so cheeky, but I want the fucking Reds first 5 plus 1.5 at plus money. I don't care if this dude's making his first start of the season. Bassett doesn't scare me at all. I think the Reds could put up some runs. They're coming off of a series win against the Brewers, and the Brewers, everyone thinks they're good, and they're not bad. Give me the Reds. I think they catch the Mets sleeping. What do you think?
I don't disagree. I think, getting them first 5 plus 1.5, that's for plus money. That's kind of a ridiculous price, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know if that price is even still here. It's moving now.
Even if it's relatively close.
It's like even, yeah. I'm
tough.
definitely betting it. Yeah.
I do think Bassett comes out and shoves today. But I wouldn't be against taking, that prop or not prop, but that line in the first 5, just because I think Justin Dunn is a guy that you're going to look on the surface and see is really bad. But I mean, he's advanced numbers don't say he's that bad. I know he hasn't been great in the minors either, but he's gonna have a good start here. It's also an emotional spark for him because he was part of the Edwin Diaz trade. He was their first round pick for the Mets. And
wow, a little revenge spot here.
Yeah, I forget how long ago, but not too long ago. He was their first round pick, so he's coming back. A little motivated start. He might throw up a little good performance here. I wouldn't be shocked.
Okay. Kitch, bro, no over in that Mariners Yanks game, brother. No, sir. I'll talk about that game in a little bit, but I'm checking my books to see if I can get that plus 1.5 around even. That's a fucking fire line. Okay. Yeah, that's a nice little revenge spot there. I didn't even know that. We'll take that. Let's go to Chicago real quick. We got my Nats coming into town. I don't know why Anibal Sanchez is still pitching when we're rebuilding. I mean, do you know why? Give me a fucking break.
Why are you rebuilding?
We're rebuilding, but why are we not pitching like a younger guy in the minors and calling him up and giving him a try?
I mean, they'll be doing that eventually, but right now, they're competing with innings eaters right now.
Okay, and honestly, we're probably trying to get that number 1 draft pick.
That too, yeah. But they're losing, which is most important.
That is true. It's losing is good right now, which it's disgusting to say. I will say everyone and their mother is going to be on Thompson today and the Cubs for good reason.
Yeah,
for good reason, as they should. I mean, the Nats suck. And to be honest with you guys, even if I end up taking the Nats at some point, like don't bet on the Nats the rest of the year. Please don't. They're just terrible. And they got their absolute dicks kicked in by the Phillies in that series. That was embarrassing. They got outscored a bazillion to 1, pretty much. But I think this price is a little sketch, seeing the Cubs only at minus 200 here. I thought they'd be a little bit more. I know they're still the Cubs and they stink, but they have a good pitcher on the mounds. And we have Anibal Sanchez pitching, and we're the Nats, and our offense is absolutely atrocious. So I think the line's a little short. Am I going to bet the Nats today? Fuck no. But that's kind of where my head's at here. What are you thinking about this game?
I don't think you can really make the Cubs any more expensive than they are because it is the
Okay.
Cubs, and
Okay.
they're not the most fantastic offense themselves, as bad as the
They're
Nationals
fucking
is.
terrible, dude.
Yeah, I mean they're terrible. I think the Cubs should roll here. I mean, not a
Okay.
super hot take, but I don't see Anibal Sanchez coming out and having any success against the top of that Cubs lineup. I really don't. Um,
Cubs alt line plus 2.5 today, minus 1,000.
I mean, there's value on it. It's value. VIP premium. VIP premium,
Oh,
19
no.
minutes.
All right, we're done talking about that game. Nobody's fucking betting that game anyways. Unless you're big catch and you're laying the minus 200, which you probably will, and that shit's probably going to hit.
Right, yeah.
So let's go to Oakland because this is a game I really wanted to talk with you about because I can't fucking tell what's square, what's sharp, what's up, what's down, what's good,
Yeah.
what's bad.
I can't get my head around this game either, to be honest with you.
God damn it! You're supposed to help me with this one. We're getting okay. Let me give you guys a breakdown of this fucking disgusting Oakland game, Oakland Angels, which we never usually be talking about, but one of these two sides is sharp, and we can't figure out which one it is. But one of these two teams is about to roll today, and honestly, we probably shouldn't bet it because we don't know which side is which. Maybe we figure it out throughout the day. We still got plenty of time, but
yeah, I mean, I'm
we're getting
definitely.
Irvin.
I don't know.
We're getting Irvin at home, and he's got a 1 ERA. He's literally one of the best pitchers in baseball at home. Makes no fucking sense. We've got the Athletics as a favorite, which never fucking happens. I can't tell if the Athletics being the favorite is a great sign. Whenever I see a shit team as a favorite, I want to take them, right? Because nobody bets on that team. Everyone bets on the better team as the underdog because it's the one time a week they see value, right? But I can't tell if it's a sharp trap. It easily could be a sharp trap, or as Peter would call it, a quadruple trap.
Yeah.
On trying to get some sharps on Irvin and the worst team in baseball as a favorite, right? And the money's coming in on Oakland. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
And the line is not
that's not
fucking
much.
moving an inch. The line's not moving an inch, which
Yeah.
is telling me the Angels is probably the right play here and taking Suarez, who fucking stinks, at plus money. That's probably the play. Unfortunately. Now, do I want to bet the Angels and recommend it? I don't know yet. I got to do a little bit more digging. But that's probably, as I talk this out, which this is why I love doing this,
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm leaning. What do you think? What thoughts are going through your brain?
You know, that's definitely probably where I would lean to. Just because I was telling you too, I've seen a lot of people very randomly, like on Twitter, who are not baseball people, talking about Cole Irvin at home today. And that's definitely skewed my view of it a little bit. But yeah, I think a lot of the money coming in on the A's too, I think it was like 80-85%, and the line not budging a bit is pretty interesting. I know the Angels have been really bad recently. And so are the A's. So I mean, it's shocking to see them as a favorite to begin with. But
yeah, but let's not act like the Angels are much better than the Athletics. They're not. They're only like a couple wins better.
Yeah, they're really not. Yeah, I mean, it's not completely an insane line. Honestly, I was kind of taking a look at the over in this game because we know. I mean, first of all, the line moved up, I think 7 to 7.5, which good sign. But these are two pitchers that, yes, Cole Irvin, fantastic at home. I didn't look at his last outing versus the Angels.
So let me give you the breakdown because these guys literally pitched against each other.
Was it the same game? Oh, so I know Jose Suarez shoved in that game. I didn't know Cole Irvin was against him. So I mean, they both shoved.
Suarez, 5 innings, 1 run, 5 hits. Irvin, 6 innings, 3 runs, but only 2 were earned. So 2 runs, 6 hits. So honestly, Suarez outpitched him.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing Irvin as a favorite after Suarez outpitched him last week. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough, as far as sidewise, I think it's a pretty tough game to wrap your head around. I honestly might be taking that over, though.
Okay.
Talk through it a little bit, especially with both those guys shoving in that game that was not too long ago. We're seeing total creep up, half a run, maybe even more coming soon.
All the money's on the under, too, and the line's moving up.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. I can get behind that, bro.
Yeah, I don't hate that one bit.
I get behind that. I will say, if all the money continues to pile in on Oakland and that line doesn't fucking move, I'm probably going to have to play the Angels too.
Yeah.
Because that's fucking crazy.
Agree.
Yeah. Okay. Angels and the over in that one. Yeah, Richie Parlay. Both those teams are coin stealers, bro. Both of them. Let's power through this shit game real quick. Pitt, Arizona, and then we'll get to the decent game tonight. But we've got Beatty, who's just not fucking good at pitching, going against Gallen, who is good at pitching. I mean, the D-backs are pretty much unbettable here, unless you wanted to take a -1.5, which I really would never take or recommend. I don't really want to bet on the Pirates today. I am not even going to probably bet this game. The Pirates have looked better recently, though, I will say. They've won 3 of their last 5. They swept the Brewers, which was crazy, and then they went into Baltimore, and they only won 1 of those. But Arizona is a tough team to cap. They're pretty fucking bad, too. These teams are equally shitty, but there's one good player in it, and it's Zach Gallen, and he's pitching. So that's an issue for Pittsburgh. The line's unbettable, though, at -250. Do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, I really couldn't hate people just taking a flyer on the Pirates, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It's really tough to back Beatty, especially, I mean, I don't know how long he's going to go. He's probably only going to go a couple innings, and it's him and the Tigers bullpen or Pirates bullpen against the D-backs. It's a
and
tough.
The Pirates bullpen, fucking David Bednar is on the IL, and the D-backs for some reason kept their bullpen for the most part.
It's
Melanson.
Yeah, it's a tough position to take. Honestly, this is another game where I'd probably lean the over too, just because that Pirates bullpen is probably going to give up quite a couple runs. And if you're counting on or hoping that the Pirates are contending in this game, they're going to have to score with the D-backs, I think. So
Agreed. I think if you wanted to play Pittsburgh today, you play them early. You play them first 5, kind of like I did last week when they played the Orioles, and they won the first 5. Well, it was tied to the first 5, and then the Orioles scored 1 run in the 6th and ended up winning 1-0, I'm pretty sure. So thank God I took Pittsburgh first 5, because I would have lost my mind if I took them in full game. But anyways, I don't think you could play Pittsburgh full game because their bullpen situation is so bad.
Yeah, it's a fact.
So you take them if you want to take Pittsburgh, you take them early, or you go with Jovan's over here, who I don't even know if you're going to end up playing it. That's just probably a lean.
Yeah, it's probably just a lean. I don't know if I want to play it. I mean, if you're laying D-backs -1.5 or -125, I don't know what you're doing.
No. Do not do that.
Do
not take that.
Terrible bet.
Do not.
It's like people would take the Rays run line every time. I don't get it.
Will Crow 3 inning save? I mean, he could. He could do it. Will Crow X Nat. Nice. Good job letting him go. Mike Rizzo. Fucking idiot. All right. You want to get to a real baseball game that's on tonight?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Late. We got New York going into Seattle. This is a good fucking series. We got Talion and Gilbert. And these guys, like we just talked about in that Oakland Angels game, these guys literally had the same thing happen where last week they pitched against each other in the same game.
Yeah.
And we saw both pitchers pitch like dog shit. They both gave up 6 runs. This was an offensive showcase. And I need to go back and look at what the over-under was in that game. I'm looking right now. Give me 1 second. It was 8.5. It was 8.5 in that game. Absolutely soared over. And now we're getting the same game, same matchup, and the total is at 8. 7.5 on some books. It opened at 7.5, which is sketch in my opinion. So think about this in my contrarian way, guys. You see 12 runs between these two starters literally last week, and then you get to today, and the total, which soared over last week, today is lower. Yeah. That is fucking sketch. This game's going to end 1-0. TK Gifted in the chat, he fucking gets it. Shit's soaring under. Has to. Just by the line. And I know the line moved from 7.5 to 8, and I don't love it. But I'm seeing about 90% of the fucking handle is coming in on that over. Keep me as far away from that over as possible. I will be sneak deploying copious units on that under. Plain and simple. Still no Julio Rodriguez. That's huge. And still no Giancarlo for the Yanks. That's huge. The Yankees are also traveling. They traveled late last night. Probably not late, but they traveled last night from St. Louis to Seattle. That's not a fucking quick flight. I think we don't see any fucking runs today. And I think in chat they agree. They love it.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Mitch Haniger
Jen took the alt under. And Mitch Haniger's back?
Yeah, and it's still lower.
I love that because he's probably going to go over because it's the first time we've seen live pitching in a while. That's good. If he's up on Prize Picks today, let's take all his unders.
Yeah, people were saying, it's in Seattle, not New York, which is a much more of a pitcher's park too.
Yeah, that's huge.
Helps. I don't think that plays too much into the line because it would still be a significant drop, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But yes,
agreed.
I agree that Gilbert is not good either. Somebody said that.
I also agree. But sometimes you just got to bet the lines and not the team. And I think they're giving us one here, guys. I really do. I think they're giving us one here. Who do you think wins this game? Because I have no fucking idea. What do you like about it?
I mean, I lean the Yanks. I know the line movement's a little weird, but
yeah,
I like a lot of their matchups as far as against Gilbert. Like I think today's another day that I'm probably going to be on Aaron Judge. Something.
Okay.
Just because I love his matchup against Gilbert, and I love it for a couple of these guys. So I mean, I trust. As scary as it is to say, I trust Talion a little more.
Wow. Okay. I don't disagree with that, honestly, and I'm going to throw up even just saying that. Oh.
Yeah, 100%.
Fuck Talion, but I do like him better than Gilbert today. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I 100% will not
gross,
be
dude.
But if I
hate that,
that would probably be it.
I hate saying that.
It's disgusting.
Billy, you are so right, dude. Sometimes you do have to bet the teams and not the lines, though. You're 100% baseball brain. Yeah. Not here, though. Not in this spot. Not with this weird of a fucking line. I mean, maybe it's not as weird as I think it is, Jovan. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. Am I stretching it here?
No, it's definitely a little weird.
That's fucking weird. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Raw V. I like that play too. I don't like that play.
Mariners winning. I'm a Yankee fan. Yankees fans, every time they try to say they're winning or losing, you're always wrong.
All this for the Yankees to win 7-3. Take the over then, Trent. Do it. Do it. He probably will, honestly. I don't know why I'm asking that. He probably already bet it.
Yeah, he definitely said it already.
Okay. Well, I'll let you save your milk for Surgical Stream and spoon fed the squad. I got an appointment out at the pool. I need to go out there, but I'll be hopping on the Surgical Stream, giving my spiel on these shitty games today. Guys, my favorite play by far is the under in that game we just talked about, the Yankees-Seattle. That shit's hitting. This is my favorite baseball bet I've seen in over a week. Thank God, because last week sucked. And I know you guys are a winner, and this is it. Give me the under. In New York, Seattle, going to be the most boring televised game of all time. We went from primetime overs to now we're getting primetime unders. I think baseball gave us some freebies early, gave us some fun and some freebies early, and now they're taking all the coins back and then some because every fucking primetime game has been going under. God, man. This one's going under too. Give it to me. Inject it in my veins. Love it. Jovan, a pleasure, my man. We'll be seeing. Let me know what you're on today.
For all sure.
Right. W's chat. We'll catch you guys. Have a good day. Let's start off the week right with some winners, especially that fucking under. Let's get it. Let's have a day.